Howdy YouTube. Working on a Nissan today. Going to show you how to do front brake pads. Okay, so as I said, we're doing front brake pads on this vehicle today. It's a 2018 Nissan Altima. I'm sure all the brakes are the same for the different models and engines, but I'm not exactly sure. But anyway, on with the show. I've got it jacked up, obviously. I've got a full jack stand underneath there. And back wheels are chalked so it doesn't roll. It's your first safety things right there. Okay, next order of business, take your wheel and tire off. Should be a 21mm for your lug nuts, but I can't find my 21mm, so it's a loose, what do they say, 7/8. So my assistant will hold that. We'll bust these off. Five lug nuts. Pop the wheel off. Okay. Next thing we're gonna do is compress the piston. This is how I do it. In the caliper. So you can do it with the caliper off, use a piston compressor. I always just use a big C-clamp. Wrap the C-clamp around. Make sure you don't hit no brake lines or bleeders. And compress the piston and the caliper. You can get these big C-clamps for a few bucks at Harbor Freight, if you are wondering. Alright, she's compressed. Okay, now I take the caliper off. There's a bolt right there, and one on the bottom somewhere. You need 14mm. Bust that one loose. Bust the bottom one loose. One bolt. Two bolts. Take the caliper off, spin it up, sit it right there. So stay there right in place. Now you gotta, before you take everything apart, look at it, because there's clips and there's indicators and all kinds of stuff. You want to make sure you put it back the right way. I already did the other side, so we're good. I can just pop these out of here. 1, 2. If you wanted to do rotors, there's 2 bolts on the back. You pop those bolts out. This bracket comes off. Rotor, it needs a beat with a hammer, but it'll pop off. And put the new rotor on, bracket back on, 2 nuts, torque them down. I'm sure there's a torque spec on the internet you can find, and slap this all back together. It's that simple. But in other words, take the hardware off, because I bought new hardware. It's recommended you buy the new hardware with the brakes. Some brake kits don't come with them. I went to AutoZone. The regular Duralast does not come with a new hardware, but the Golds do. So I got the Golds. Give me the hardware, please. Okay, so prepping this to go back together. These are your pins. This is what the caliper bolts to, and that's what slides back and forth. That's what the caliper slides back and forth on. They need to move. These feel fine to me. You could take them off. I recommend taking them off. There's just a rubber boot. Throwing a little bit of lube on it, cleaning it, slapping it back in. Make sure your boots aren't cracked. Make sure the boot goes back in the bracket. I'm not doing that because I'm having a bad day, and I know I will rip the boots, and I'm just not touching it today. That's my decision. I'm living it with it. So they feel fine. I don't want to have a worse day, so we'll leave it at that. Take your wire brush, clean all the contact points for the bracket, the clips, I mean. Take your new hardware, just slide in there, press them on down on each side. You have to give them a little tap with a wrench. Same goes for the top. Just slide on in there, press them in. And I'll check that. Now it's in there. And you're good to go. Take your pad, open it up. On the OEM brakes, both of your clips, your indicators and whatnot, are going to be on the top. With the aftermarket ones, one will be at the top, the other one will be at the bottom, on the behind. Good. Yep. Have a good one. Sorry, that was a buddy. But anyway. Oh yes. The clips with the Duralast one will be at the top on the front, one will be at the bottom on the back. Take you some ceramic brake parts lubricant from Permatex. Chill. A little bit on there, and lube up the contact point ears where it's gonna make contact with the clips and whatnot. Be sure not to get any on the ceramic pad itself. Mic is so This ear goes inside the clip. This ear goes on top of the clip. So, inside, get it in there, take your brake, push it up, slide it in. That's that one. There goes all my trash into the neighborhood landfill called the ditch, but it will. Again with the lube. Same dealie on this one. Just gotta could you move, please? Thank you. Like that. So your pads are in, the back one goes in the same as the front. Flip your caliper down, up and over the pads, like so. Take a bolt, line it up with the pin, start one bolt, down, start bolt number 2. Get your wrench, one, 2, 3, 4. That's torqued. I don't know what a torque spec is on these. Good and tight is the torque spec. Boom. So, next order of business, I have my assistant go press the brakes. You don't have to do this. Well, you can just do it yourself. But, I have her go press the brakes, make sure the caliper moves, pumps back up, and when you compress the piston, the fluid gets pushed back up into the master cylinder. So I tend to, when I do brakes, I either do one wheel and pump it, or I just do like the front and pump it. That way the master doesn't overflow, because brake fluid is not good for paint. So don't want to be spilling that. But anyway, caliper works, no leaks, it moves around like it's supposed to and turns. So we'll get this garbage out of the way, take our wheel and tire, walk it in there, right back on. Get it on there. Take your sausage fingers and try to fish a lug nut on to the stud. Do that 4 more times. Always start your lug nuts by hand, so you don't cross thread them. Then you can use a ratchet or a 4-way or whatever to tighten them down. And get a torque wrench. I believe the torque spec for these are 83 foot-pounds. I'm going to show you what I do. Some of you may want to turn away. I'm not cinching them down. This is the equivalent of making them hand tight. Done a star pattern. Alright, good enough. I'll put her down on the ground, grab a torque wrench. Once it's down on the ground, torque them to 83 foot-pounds in a star pattern. Take it for a spin around the block, torque them again, good to go. Down the road, brakes are done. So that's how you do the front brakes. Obviously there's two sides. They're the same way on either side, so there you go, save yourself some money. I think the front brake pads at AutoZone were $45 maybe. And that beats probably over $200 at a shop. Guaranteed over $100 at a shop, but anyway. There you go, that's how you do the front brakes on a Nissan Altima. So thanks for watching. Hope this helps you guys, and as I always say, stay crazy and have a good one, people.